give me a point and a flex, and you're trying to keep everything else still. So nice point and flex. You could be sat up on something here. You don't have to be sat on the floor straight. So you could have a little cushion or something underneath. Now, can you flex or point your foot without pointing the toes, and then point the toes? Then flex the toes and flex the feet. So you let your ankles go and then your toes come up and then your ankles come. So again, point and then flex and flex, and then go into your circles. When you're circling, your knees are staying still, so it's just your ankles circling through. Lovely. And then circle the other way. Good, good. And then you can stay seated and then lift yourself up onto your sit bones. Make sure you're not slumped back, and reach forwards towards your toes. So you're aiming to reach the toes or even go beyond the toes if you can. And this should give you a stretch up the backs of the legs. Lovely. If you can reach your toes, you can pull them so you get a little bit more flexion in, and then you should feel a stretch in your calves as well. If you tighten the back though, you might feel it there before you feel it in the legs. And release. If you've got shoes on, the other way you can do it is take your foot up on top of your foot and hinge forwards there, and then you'll get more into the calf and less into the hamstring. And then change, lifting it up and reaching forwards. Lovely. And then release. Now, if that's enough for you, stay with just those. If you're happy touching your feet, interlace your fingers between your toes and then pull down on your foot, so you kind of point it, and then you're just going to guide your fingers up the gaps between the bones in your feet. So you're going to the knuckles. If I show you without it, go to the knuckles and then glide up. You could do this just with your foot on the floor if you prefer, and just use the top of a wooden spoon, or you could use a mascara wand or a pen, anything that's got sort of a rounded edge if you don't want to touch. So to finish with a little bit of a toe mobility, so you're going to lift your big toes up and your other toes stay down, and then you're going to press your big toes down and lift your other toes up. So we lift and then we lift. Now, if when you look at your big toes, they are starting to move inwards towards the other toes, where really we want them to stay outwards, what you can do is get a little elastic band and put them around. So this I got from a kit, but actually broccoli often comes with a little elastic band around it. So save it, and this is what you can do. So now big toe lifts and they stay a little bit outwards, all the rest of the toes lift. So big toes, all the other toes, big toes, all the other toes. Now if you struggle, look at your toes, it does help. Now let's try it the other way. So we're going to lift the big toes, lift up the other toes, lower the big toes, lower the other toes. So lift and lift, then lower and lower. One more like that, lift and lift, lower and lower. Now do it the other way. So little toes, big toes, little toes go down, big toes go down. So this does get a little bit tricksy. So all the toes, big toes, all the toes, big toes. So you might cramp out, so you might want to do this a little bit at a time. And then to finish, you can try and do a wave. So you start at the little toes and try and do one toe at a time, which, you know, it's a work in progress. Lovely. And release.